Hello there, my Facebook lovelies. Hello there, my Instagram gorgeous girlfriends. It's what a time we're in, right? I'm Donna Hoffman. They call me the Interior Design Advocate, and every Tuesday we're here at 4 p.m. Eastern, and I teach you something about design. And that's what we do here at the Interior Design Advocate when we're not actually running my luxury design company. I'm a luxury designer in the Philadelphia region. And we have been coming out here doing Facebook Lives and Insta Lives for you. And they're super popular and we love being here with you, but this is such an odd cycle that we're in. And so honestly, last week we thought, should we even come out and do another lesson? Should we come out here for a live? And people showed up and we said, listen, do you want us to teach about design? We'd love to. I wanted to just connect with you, girlfriend to girlfriend first, to make sure that you're okay. And then once we did that, I said, do you still want me to teach on design? And people took a vote and they said, yes, they do. But another week has transpired and I want to make sure that you're still okay. And I want to make sure that you're doing whatever you need to do to stay as intact and as whole and as calm and as peaceful as you can during what I know is a very hard time for all of us. It's an uncertain time. It's a time that feels very chaotic. It's a time that feels very out of control. And I will tell you that if you're feeling these things, you're completely normal. And one of the worst things for human beings is this sense of lack of control and uncertainty. When you really think about it in life, it's an illusion to think that we can control a lot, right? We are definitely at the mercy of the of whatever it is that comes our way in the ocean of life. And to be a good sailor, we have to keep sailing with it. There's that great expression. I'm going to muddle it up, I'm sure, but it's something like choppy seas make great sailors, and they do. They're not pleasant to sail through, but the strength and muscle that you're building by just walking through this difficult time, I promise you, once we're through the other side, you're going to look back and think, yeah, I did it. Yeah, I do have more strength, more resilience than I thought I did. And to help you to get through this time, if you are struggling, if you open your eyes in the morning and think, oh gosh, I can't do this again and again with the headlines and the information that's coming to us, I want to share with you something that a wonderful friend of mine, she happens to be an interior designer. She happens to be in a mastermind group that I'm in. And Valerie is a beautiful person inside and out. And she practices design down in Georgia. And I was going through a personal issue at the time that was one of those feet to the fire kinds of moments where you feel like you just want to cry all the time and you wonder how you can just keep going. And, you know, my mastermind group, we've become good girlfriends. So after we talk business, we always end up talking life as well. So after the mastermind, the next morning, my phone rang. And it was Valerie, and she said in her beautiful Southern accent, she has this wonderful whispery, soft voice. She's a steel magnolia, though, because you think that she might be this kind of lightweight gal. She's got a gorgeous spirit and a gorgeous strength to her. And she said to me, Donna, I'm calling you to check in to make sure that you are careful and deliberate in where you dwell in thought. So of course, when she said that, I burst into tears because I wasn't doing that. And I said, keep talking. She said, I want you to be careful where you dwell in thought. She said, because right now, today's date, and look at your watch. In fact, I want you to do that right now. All of you, I want you to look at your watch and say out loud what time it is right now and the date right now. And today's date, this time, there is nothing that you can do right now to change these outer circumstances that face us. Nothing. You can continue to make decisions to keep yourself safe and keep your family safe. But beyond that, there is no amount of worry that you have, no amount of anxiety that you have that can change right now what's happening. So to pulse all of that through your system right now, in this moment, on this date, at this time, all it does is make you feel worse and worse, and it shrinks your energy more and more, increases your anxiety, increases your unhappiness. And what can you create from that space? Not very much. And anything that you do create from that space is not as good as it could be, should be, or might be. So I want to share with you my beautiful friend Valerie's thoughts. Be careful where you dwell in thought. And to that end, I also want to encourage you that if you are spending time in the news, taking in information, okay, but I want you to be careful what you're feeding to that gorgeous brain of yours and that stunning mind of yours. And so if you are going to take in an hour of news a day, I want you to promise yourself that you're going to spend an equal amount of time feeding your brain other stimulus, doing something else that you absolutely love doing, that gives you a sense of peace, that gives you a sense of calm, whatever that is. I don't care if it's walking in your yard. I don't care if it's reading a book. I don't care if it's, oh, my nose always starts to itch when I'm doing these Facebook Lives. Doesn't that, like, you itch on the truth, right? Isn't that what they say? Whatever that is, if you are a meditator, meditate. If you're a prayer, pray. If you say, hey, I don't know how to meditate and I don't know how to pray, write. This little baby, a pen and piece of paper, you can do a writing meditation. You can do a writing prayer, something that will just keep you centered right now in this moment, to connect with some deeper part of yourself, some higher power, if that's part of your belief system, or to connect with the wiser piece of you that's already gotten through this 10 years down the road. Let her talk to you about what you've learned and what you built and what you became because of this, okay? So be careful where you dwell in thought. Be sure that you are feeding that gorgeous brain of yours and that gorgeous spirit of yours other input to balance what you're taking in the news. And last but not least, if you have not read any Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now, this is a good time to get that book. It's good stuff. And it is true what he says. The only power we have is to stay centered in the moment right now. The past is gone. Yesterday's gone. Tomorrow hasn't happened yet. No matter what all the news pundits are saying, it hasn't happened yet. And you don't have all the information that you will have tomorrow or next week. That information hasn't formed yet or come to you yet, nor for all of us. So we don't know exactly what good can come to help move us through this time. So I just want you to be healthfully selfish right now. I want you to take care of yourselves. I want you to stay strong and healthy and calm and intact. And hopefully some of those things I've shared with you will help you to get there, alrighty? Because you matter to me as a person, not just the fact that you love design. The fact that you're a design diva is part of what makes you special to me, but we're connected, you and I, and we have been for a while now, and who you are and how you are matters to me. So that said, we were going to talk today about, for many of you, you've asked the question and asked me about becoming an interior designer. That was our topic today. Should I become an interior designer? Have you ever thought about it? So you tell me, would you still like me to talk about that topic? If so, I'm happy to do that, as well as to take your questions about the design trade, about being an interior designer, about what the opportunities are, what the challenges are. But let me see from you first if you'd even like me to go ahead and do that. And if not, if you just want to put a pin in it today, if you're just feeling really wiped out because of this whole COVID-19, and there's already a question coming in or a comment coming in, let me see what this is. Repeat the name of the Eckhart Tolle book. Yes, it's called The Power of Now. And I wish I could spell Eckhart for you. I think it's E-K-A-R-T and then Tolle, T-O-L-L-E or T-O-L-E. Okay, The Power of Now. It's one of those books, you either love it or you hate it. But if you love it, you're going to really love it. You're going to highlight it and you're going to go back and read your highlights. It can be a very calming, still waters creating kind of book. So let me see if you guys still want to talk about design. And if so, I cannot believe how itchy my nose gets when I come out here with you. I don't know what that is. Okay, so Ruth is saying it's so nice to see you all. It's so good to see you too, Ruth. Big hug to you. Elaine is saying good afternoon and thanks for being here. Thank you, Elaine. It's so good to be here with you too. Sherry's saying hello. Corinne in California is saying hello. I'm so glad you're well, Corinne. Sandra's saying hello. Okay, got a lot of hellos happening. Lots from Lisa and Terry and Margaret. Yay, Tammy saying it's great to be here and learn. I'm so glad, Tammy. That's good. Corpus Christi is watching. Yay, Texas. More Pam's in Texas. Nancy's in Texas. My brother and his wife and my nieces are in Texas. So Texas has a special place in my heart. Okay, so Pam is saying great advice so far. Jenny's having some hard time with her internet. Jenny, I hope maybe you should reboot and get back in. I don't know. More Texas. Okay. So Trisha's saying, Donna, you matter to us too. I hope you're safe and healthy as well. I am. I'm healthy and I'm safe, and I'm practicing a lot of gratitude. Right now, our whole team is virtual. We've had some design projects go on hold. We've had other projects come in and start, believe it or not, even after the COVID thing happened. We have other projects that are still in process. I feel so blessed in every day that I have, that I can just get up and take a deep breath and keep moving around, and really doing a lot of gratitude work. I hope you guys are too. Mary is saying yes to something. I don't know what. We have a lot of Texas here. Anna's here with from Texas. Okay, so Christy is saying, please go forward with the topic that I planned. Jen said, I believe going forward will help with normalcy. I like that, Jennifer. That's good. Mary's saying, talk about design. Heidi's saying, thanks for the encouraging words. You're welcome, Heidi. I believe that a feeling discussed is a feeling cut in half. Now, that said, I think there's a difference between doing that in order to get rid of it and transmute it, and spinning on the same thing over and over and over again and talking with your girlfriends about it over and over again. I think that there comes a point. I went walking with one of my besties every Sunday. Margie and I walk, and I noticed that we talked about this COVID thing almost the whole hour and a half. And then when we saw more neighbors, we talked about it with them. I was exhausted by the time I came home, so I needed to spend some time in the garden. So I'm glad we're here talking about that, what the current moment is, but I'm glad we're going to talk about some other stuff too. All right, Trisha's saying, would love to talk about design, helps to relieve some anxiety. I gotcha. Okay, so people want to hear about, okay. Oh, so Pam already ordered The Power of Now. She just ordered it. Okay. So, all righty. So let's talk about becoming a designer. So you tell me, have you ever considered becoming an interior designer? It's amazing. When I tell people what I do, the first thing I get always is, oh, I always wanted to be a designer. Because people think it's just a bunch of fun and just kind of playing in those fabric books. So I want to know from you, have you ever thought about being an interior designer? And if you have, what held you back? And if you are an interior designer and things aren't going quite the way you wish they could, would, or should, what do you think is holding you back? So let me talk to you while you're putting that in. I want to know what your struggle is around becoming a designer, if you thought about it and why, and if you did, why you didn't do it, and if you're still seriously thinking about it. So when you want to look at design as a hobby versus design as a livelihood, two very different topics, very, very different. Being able to play in your home and play in creative energy and just do what you think we would like, and, you know, take my courses and become a design diva rock star, that's one thing. But then being paid to do it and being expected to show up with a certain result in a certain time frame at a certain price, that's very, very different. Very different. Design is a business when you do it professionally. So my first question to you is, if you are thinking you want to become a designer, where do you see yourself in the industry? Do you want to go work for someone else? Or do you want to run your own business? Do you want to take your love of design and turn it into a paying side gig? That's another business model. Do you want to take your love of design and go work at a furniture store as a furniture salesperson who gets to do a little bit of design as well? Or do you really want to run your own company, so-and-so enterprises? So I want to know, if you're seriously considering it, you tell me, like, where do you see yourselves? Okay, so Tammy's saying that she has a friend who's a designer, but she passed on it and became a teacher instead. Karen's saying that I've become a certified stager, which has some elements of design, but I want to improve my skill set so I can be better with interiors. I hear that a lot from stagers, because stagers are taught staging an interior is different than designing an interior. Staging an interior is about taking a house and turning it back into a product that, or taking a home and turning it back into a house, right? A product that will sell. Whereas design is a very heavily layered endeavor and activity. And when you are designing for clients, you have to also balance their expectations as well. So I'll talk about that. And I just want to see if Okay, so I'm trying to look on Insta. Steve, you can help me as well. Looks like there are people saying that I want to own my own business. Okay, that's a whole other ball of wax. I can't see other I don't know if I do this. Okay, good. All right, so okay, so let's talk about it. So if whether you want to own your own business, and then we have somebody here with us now who's a stager who wants to improve your skill set. So there are 3 pillars to being a professional designer, right? You need a very clear skill set in design itself and something that you can repeat over and over from project to project to project. It's a design path, a design process. So there's the design skill set. There's the business skill set, the running of a business. Now, if you don't want to run a business, you still have to have enough of a business brain that you don't get yourself fired from a design company, because you need to know how the business runs so that you can run a project well, use client resources well, and use your company resources well also. So there's the design skill set that has to be strong. There's the business skill set that needs to be strong. And we'll talk about the difference between owning your own business and working for someone. And then there's the mindset, right? Which I also call the heart set and the soul set. But it's how you feel inside. If you're starting a business, I'm going to tell you right now, it is the scariest thing you will ever do. And if you're transitioning into a new career, if you're saying, hey, you know what, I do this right now, but I really want to do design. I'd love to take my love of design and turn it into a side gig. Well, that's starting a business, even if it's part-time. In fact, tell me if you're thinking, would you want to work part-time? Would you want to work full-time? If you want to work for someone else, I think it's very good to know about yourself that you do not want to own a business. For example, we're hiring here at my company on the luxury design side of our brand. And I was interviewing some fantastic women right before all this stuff heated up, the COVID stuff. And one of the great candidates I spoke to, really talented, great pedigree, does good work, good training, come from a lot of good firms. She said, Donna, you're sort of like a unicorn because you understand the design side so well and the business side so well. She said, is it bad for me to admit to you that I love design, but I don't want to run my own business? I said, no, that's a great thing to say to me, because it's important that you know that about yourself. There is nothing wrong with saying, I love design, but I don't want to be the rainmaker. What does the rainmaker mean? That means you're the person that has to make sure that there are clients continually coming into your pipeline. You're the person paying out the payroll. You're the person running the marketing with your marketing team, and you're the person writing all the blogs, and you are the central brain, versus somebody who says, hey, I just want to design. There's the client. Here's the goal. Here's the budget. I just want to run with it. So knowing who you are is important. And I do think that if design is a second career for you and you have been out in the business world, I think you have an advantage, because you already know a little bit more than a little bit less about how business works, as opposed to people who are coming right out of school. That said, the design business is a very unusual entity unto itself. It's got a wacky business model. I know a really talented woman who could have been a great designer, and she said, I took one look at that business model of the design world, and I said, no, thank you very much. And the design business has changed. There was a time when I believe always that women who hire designers, men and women who hire designers, these are people that have discretionary income to a greater or lesser degree, and who want to create something in their home that they feel they cannot create themselves. They don't have the skill set, they believe, they recognize they don't have the skill set, they don't have the resources, the connections. It's very different when you do something 24/7 as opposed to when you do it once in a while, right? You develop a skill set plus training. So the people who hire designers have always been people who have a degree of discretionary income. However, I think that once the economy changed 12 years ago, I think that the people in the middle have gotten badly squeezed. And I think that that client is not really there anymore, and or she's more of a DIYer and she is doing more online for herself. But the clients at that luxury level, they're not, that is not a client that wants to do things on their own. They want to have their artwork curated. They want the vision that a designer can bring that they can't bring. In fact, I'm working with a lovely family on a new design build, and the wife half of this lovely couple, she said, you know, Donna, I have ideas about what I want in the house. She said, but I'm telling you right now, I hired you because I want to know what you would do as a professional. I don't want you to just regurgitate my ideas. I want to know how to make this spectacular through a professional's eyes so that it feels great for our family. So people are hiring you for your vision, but also your confidence. And you cannot have confidence as a designer if you don't have those three pillars I just talked about. Excellent business skill, excellent creative skill, and process. For example, and also great mindset. You've got to have the inner grit to be able to ride through launching a new endeavor. And that's true no matter what business you might want to start. When you think about a rocket ship that has to take off through the atmosphere, how much energy is expended just to break through that atmosphere? A lot, right? Launching is an exhausting thing on its own. So hang on, we're getting some questions coming in. Hang on. Home Decor Life is saying, is the design field flooded with designers? I'm a realtor and have been for many years, and everyone in our profession, including their cousin, wants to be a realtor. Just wanted to see if your profession is or was getting to be the same. Okay, that's a great question, Home Decor Life, and I'm going to answer you, and I'm going to use a term that I did not make up, so don't shoot the messenger, my lovelies. But in my industry, there's a term I've heard bandied about called housewives with hobbies. Those are people who are dilettantes, who don't really have training or skill set, who hang a shingle. Anybody can hang a shingle and say, hey, I'm a decorator, I'm a designer. Those are the people who I think can start to crowd our industry, the design industry, and they create a lot of problems. These are the individuals who sometimes get sued by clients because they can't deliver what they said they would per their contract. These are people that drive builders absolutely crazy and get blacklisted by builders because they can't do what they say they're going to do. So to answer your question, Home Decor Life, I do believe that we have in my industry, in the design industry, we do have a lot of dilettantes who they love design and they're like, hey, I helped a couple of friends, I'll just do this on my own now. If you want to become a designer, get training, period, end of story. You want to be respected for what you do and how you do it, and you will grow your business from there, and you'll grow your project complexity from there. Trust me, you will. And then the other thing too that I think is true of the interior design industry and has been for more than a decade, maybe even 15 years, I believe demand far underwhelms availability, right? That's like a basic thing in economics, right? If demand underwhelms availability, it's a tougher playing field. If there's scarcity, though, if there aren't enough people and there's demand outstrips that, then you're it's like fishing in a barrel. I believe that in the interior design industry, we have a little bit of both. I think that excellent interior designers, the ones who are that real trifecta, great business skill, great communication skills, which I haven't even talked about yet, great design skill, I think that those designers are a very, there's a select group of them in any town. So I think that the demand for excellent designers at the very top level, I think, is there, but you have to be really strong on your skill set. But I think in terms of the middle, all the people who think, gee, maybe I'd like to hire a designer for just a couple of hours. I think there are a lot of those kinds of clients out there. I don't think it's easy to make a living. I don't see how you can make a living, I should say, if you're just doing a little bit of consulting, a couple of hours here, a couple hours there. I have a friend from design school who is, her full-time gig is being a court reporter, and Joanne always made a lot more money as a court reporter than she did as a designer. And so she was hesitant to give up her day job, which was good, because she was a primary breadwinner in her family. And she was doing design on the side, but just doing a couple of hours here and there while working a full-time job as well just got her so burnt out. So if you're going to do design OTS on the side, that does not mean you should not go to get training. But if you are doing it on the side, I think there are certain business models that work better than others. And I think if you're just selling service, I think it's a much harder road in terms of running as a profitable business. So hope I answered your question there, Home Decor Life. I probably gave you more info maybe than what you needed, but those are my perspectives on it. Okay, let's see who else. Okay, so any other questions? Coming in late from Missouri. Hello, Sharon's late, no worries. Running your own business is very tough, from Stacy Mullins. It is, Stacy, but I do think that if you have support in it, whether it's mastermind support, whether it's group support through a company like mine with training and so forth and private groups, I think that there's a way to shorten your learning curve and to make life a lot easier. I really owe, I believe, a lot of my success and the speed of my success to the coaching that I've done with design coaches who specialized in this industry. They shortened my learning curve hugely. So I think if you're really serious about running your own business, I think getting serious with a coach would be a wise thing to do. Corinne is saying, I'm very interested in hearing this topic from a designer's point of view, but listening to it from the customer's point of view and how I can make myself a better customer. That's so good. All right, Corinne, let's talk about things you should never say to a designer. All right. I had a client once call me to complain about all the other designers she hired. I'll say it again. She called to complain about all the other designers she had hired. Did I think on the other end of the phone, this is somebody who is probably going to be enjoyable to work with? No. If you had a miss with one designer, no problem. That can happen. If you had a miss with two designers, all right, maybe. But if you are cycling through designers, I'm going to say chances are good that you're doing something that's prohibiting those designers from being successful. So if you want to be a good design client, I would be really careful in who you hire and how you hire them. And I would be real candid in, hey, what's your process? How does this work? What should I expect? When will this be done? Tell me what it looks like once I sign with you. Please make sure you get a written agreement or contract, okay? That contract, that agreement, Corinne, lists everything that the designer is responsible to do, but also lists what you're responsible for as a client. And you have a couple of responsibilities, nowhere near as many as a designer does, but you do have a few. I think another way to be a great client is, I'm going to tell you the story this way. I did a writing project where I interviewed designers across the country and into Canada, as well as design clients. And I asked them all to tell me nightmare stories. Tell me a nightmare client story and tell me a dream client story. And tell me a nightmare story with a designer and tell me a dream story with a designer. The nightmare stories about designers from a client's perspective all tracked back to the same three things. It was fascinating. They track back to designers either not having good communication processes, so clients felt totally in the dark. They tracked back to the designer not knowing how to manage the dollars, or they tracked back to the designer not being professional, not having clear systems that track through the process. On the complaint side from designers about clients, those answers were fascinating, and there were 5 answers that were just top for everybody. Not one designer, not one ever said, the thing my least favorite trait of a client is somebody who doesn't have a big budget. Not one designer said that, not one. I was so proud and happy. Not one said that. Here were the dreaded traits that designers all mentioned when I asked them that question. Tell me your 5 top dreaded traits. Dreaded traits were nasty, unkind, never says thank you, unhappily married, because remember, you're working with a couple and they're sniping at each other and bickering at each other. I'm telling you, it's not easy. And then the last one was dishonest. So designers are this mushball group. They want people to say, hey, thank you, who will be kind. I mean, it was shocking to me that kind came up with every single designer that I interviewed. So Corinne, hopefully Those stories will give you some clues as to how to be a terrific design client or a better design client. I will tell you that if you treat your designer like gold, she will return that to you 12 times over. You are the client that that team will bend over backwards for, go the extra mile for. We have a really sweet couple we're working with right now, and I know that they need an additional space plan done in their home. And I said to my team, you know what? I think we should just do this because it's going to help them make better decisions. And I'm not going to charge them for it because they are stupendous people and they have been so great to work with. This is going to be my quick thank you to them. And at our rate, not charging them for space plan, that's a significant savings. Okay, so now I have more questions coming. What kind of training do you suggest? Do you suggest a 4-year degree, a certification, etc.? And then someone else is asking about my courses. Do I offer training? Okay, so what kind of training do I suggest? Okay, so if you are just starting out in life and you're going to college, I think it's great to get an interior design degree. However, you're going to come out of school being green and wet behind the ears, and you are not going to know a thing about the business side of business, how to talk to clients, how to work with clients. I do think there is an advantage to selecting design as a second career after you've been out in the world, after you've built a little bit of muscle. I really do. So you can go back to school and get a 2-year post-baccalaureate degree. You can go get a 4-year, but I think if you already have a college degree, you can go get a 2-year post-baccalaureate degree. There are certain professional organizations that will not allow you to join at a certain ranked level if you don't have a certain training degree behind you. I will tell you that not one has ever asked me what my training and background was and what organizations I belong to. Not one. That said, you do not want to be a dilettante. You want to make sure you can get great training. So I think that there are some certification programs out there that are excellent. I know in Philadelphia, Moore College of the Arts has a program that is supposed to be quite good. So I think doing something like a formal certification is good to do to become a full-fledged, designer. I think it's important, no matter who you are in design, as a designer, I think you should never, ever, ever say you can do something you can't do. If, for example, we hired a flooring refinishing guy once for a project years ago, and I said, oh, now the client wants to redo their balustrade, their handrail and, the whole staircase. Can you do that? And he said, oh, sure. Done them before. He lied. He'd never done them before. He botched this job. So as a designer, if you've never designed a kitchen before, don't tell people you can go design a kitchen, right? So you have to make sure that you get training, but that you're also conservative in the project work that you step into, and eventually you're going to grow in speed and strength with it all. Then, so 4-year versus 2-year. I think 2-year you're fine. If you wanted to go work at a major architectural firm, you need a 4-year degree, and you might even need a master's degree. That said, guys, somebody from the ASID is going to come throw a meatball at my head. I have worked with designers. I have fired designers in my company who had gorgeous pedigrees. They had the right training, but they weren't very good. So training alone doesn't mean you know what. If you don't have the skill set developed and a little bit of innate talent as well, I think goes a long way too. But talent without training isn't something that you can control. So then somebody else is asking if doing my DGS course is enough to become a designer. So we're looking at doing a program that would help people launch into a design business. The DGS course is amazing. Decorating Genius System is fantastic, but that alone is not what you need to become a professional practicing designer. I have designers taking that course because it's great basics, and I highly recommend it, and our peeps are getting great results out of it, but that is designed for do-it-yourself design lovers. It's not designed for people who are going to be doing this for a living. So I think it's a great something to have in your arsenal. I think all of our courses are, and I do think our Window Boss course is a have to for any design professional, stager, designer, a designer who maybe never apprenticed with another designer, a designer who maybe feels like your certification work was kind of meh, your training was kind of eh. I think our courses are terrific as part of that, but there's more that you need. So I hope I'm answering you well there. Let me see if there's more on Facebook. I know Steve just gave me, oh, this is from Facebook. Okay. All right. That's okay. This is my last question. All righty. All right. Would you be willing to share any tips on how to make a makeshift at-home office space beautiful while you were figuring out how to have more than one person working from home while we all have kids at home? Okay, so we're going to leave this topic. Okay, I'm going to answer this question, Amy, but I just want to make sure that I still want to stay on topic, because Amy, we're actually going to write a blog just for you on this topic because everybody's home. So am I going really way too late today? Oh, I'm going late today. All right, but I love you guys, and this is a crazy time we're in, so what the hey. Okay, Amy, I'm going to get to you. I'm going to save you for last. One more thing to add to the designer's must-have skill set is a very strong interpersonal skills. I agree. Good communication skills, very important. And then, okay, Jen McCann is saying, I'm worried about those who are not educated and provide e-design. Hey, has anybody worked with e-design that was lousy? I'd love to hear from you if you have. I've heard mixed things about e-design from certain some of the big groups, but if you've done e-design, what was your experience? Was it worth the money that you paid? Did you get anything meaty out of it that really made a difference? Karen saying she just finished the Decorating Genius course. It's a great place to start. A Decorating Genius is a great place to start because if anything, it tells you what you need to know and what there is to know, and it gets you into the pool, into the swimming pool, and then you'll know from there where you need to go from there. So I think it's a great starting point. Okay, so now Amy wants to know, Steve's going to give me something else on this topic. I'll go back and forth. Yeah. So wait a minute, hold the phone. The part of Katie is being played by Steve Hoffman because our team is not allowed to come in right now. Is there room in the industry to become a design stylist, decorator without being an actual interior designer? I think there is. I mean, that's part of what I'd love to teach. There's so much I want to do for you guys. I just don't have the bandwidth to do it all. But I want to show you guys different business models that you can do. You don't have to run a luxury interior design company to do well and to be successful and to work in work that you love. I hope I'm making, I don't think I've made this point. I love what I do. I mean, I worked for a couple hours today on a design project. It was so relaxing to me. I'm on deadline, so I knew I had to, keep going, but it was so enjoyable to me. It's great to do work that you love. I mean, there's nothing like it. And I think there are different business models to answer you that I think as long as you promote yourself properly, you can go do one-day redesign for people and say, this is what I do. I move around what you already have and I make it look gorgeous, and for under X number of dollars, you and I are going to go to this store and we're going to buy some extra accessories because I've done Donna Hoffman's design CPR course and it is the bomb. It is the bomb if you want to accessorize like a maniac, fabulous, talented person. But I think as long as you promote your service properly, the problem, to Jen McCann's point, is that if your skill set is here and you're saying, I do this, no, your skill set is here, this is what you do. Your skill set is here, this is what you do. You have to match your offering to your skill set. And it's when people start to over-promise and under-deliver, that's when bad things happen and a lot of money is wasted and dangerous things can happen in homes when designers are making wacky decisions. But to answer your question, I do think you can be a stylist and make money doing it, have a good gig going. You have to know how to promote it, and you have to know what your point of difference is and what you're offering. So, for example, maybe you're going to be a stylist for two career families. They want the look, but they don't have they're on a budget. They want the look, but they really want to outsource it to somebody. And you are going to be priced in a way that you feel good about what you're doing and that, some people can afford you. I don't think you can price yourself so that everybody can afford you because unfortunately, a lot of people want something for nothing or something for less. And I don't think you want those people as clients, maybe as friends, but not as clients. So I think you can do it. I do think you can do it. All right, Amy wants to know, she said this is off topic, but could you share tips for how to make a makeshift at-home office space beautiful while you're figuring out how to have more than one person working from home while we all have kids at home, making messes everywhere. We're in a small house. Hubby's office is now the spare bedroom, and I'm setting up in a corner of our bedroom. Okay, Amy. This is something we talked about. We actually had a meeting yesterday with our team, virtual meeting. Everybody's home right now, and we're going to do a blog post sooner than later on how to make your home office really feel amazing to you. Amy, small space, it's super important, and in any office, to edit brutally. Edit, edit, edit. If you don't need it there, get rid of it. Organization, hugely important. And I think binders for home offices can be better than files. They're easy. You can have them stacked on a shelf easily, and their papers aren't spraying everywhere. You need a 3-hole punch. You need those 4-inch binders or 3-inch binders. See if you can combine your project work, either by project, by client, by whatever your work is, Amy, so that you're in binders, not in file folders. And it also eliminates the need in a small space for file drawers. Now, of course, you'll need a shelving unit, but there are some cute little shelving units on, CB2. We just did things in our office here. Steve, do you remember where some of those cool looking West Elm had some cool looking like marble and faux marble, and no, I think they were real. Some were real marble and metal. They were good looking, and so your binders can go on those, and now you don't need the file drawers, and you have baskets for other things. So Amy, first you're going to edit in your corner office and in your bedroom. Next, you're going to see how you can beautifully store what you do need to have. I think those open shelving units are great. They're makeshift, they're quick, but they're good looking, especially if you style them out well. I want you to get a fresh, beautiful plant in there if you can. When we're able to go to stores again, I don't know where you are right now. We're not supposed to be out, Home Goods, Home Depot, Lowe's. I'm talking a big floor plant if you have room for it. If not, something that will, some other greenery that will sit on something. I think greenery is very uplifting in home offices. There's a freshness to them. There's an organicness to them as well, or they are organic because they're plants. I also think a great piece of artwork, and I don't mean like an itty bitty piece of artwork. I mean something big, something fabulous, something 30 by 30, 42 by 42. Hello, Home Sense. Get thyself there. And that's what goes over your desk where you're working. So there's something beautiful that you're looking at that's inspiring you and lifting you. Also, you want to be careful on and also I think there's some great looking low cost ladies desks or decorative desks online, CB2, West Elm, try Wayfair. So that a pretty dining room chair sat in front of it. A 5-point chair is more comfortable, Amy. Do you know, everybody know what a 5-point chair is? Well, a 4-point chair is what a regular dining chair is, right? 2 front legs, 2 back legs. But a 5-point chair is the thing that has that spinny wheel thing on the bottom and has 5 different wheels, usually like casters, right? So a 5-point chair will be more comfortable. If you need a great, really comfortable 5-point chair, who's out of business? Is it Staples is in business? Who's out of business? Staples is in business, and Office Depot? Who's
still going?
Okay. Oh, they're all in business. Okay, sorry. Tempur-Pedic, T-E-M-P-U-R Pedic, which is like a mattress thing. They make a really comfortable 5-point chair. It's what I'm sitting in. It's about a $300 and something chair. It is comfortable. So Amy, I want you to go for beauty. I want you to go for organization, and I want you to go for comfort. Hopefully that will help you, Amy, and let me know if it does. And as far as where the kids are going to do their thing, why don't you put some sort of stain resistant tablecloth, in the dining room if you're in a small home. Get something under the table as well, and just make that the area where they can do crafts, whatever, plastic up everything that you possibly can. Put folding chairs in there, get rid of the good dining chair so the kids have a place to kind of do their thing. So the kitchen is really for meals. You can go in there and cook and eat and relax at your lunch break, and your husband can for his as well. And the kids have another space to kind of do their thing. That's what I would recommend as a quick idea. All right, lovelies. Did that help you? I hope it did. It was so good to be here with you. I'm sorry we went so long, but these questions were amazing, and I loved talking to you. Next week, I'm going to tell you what we're talking about. And while I'm telling you what we're talking about, if you're not following us on Instagram, come on, get on over there, girlfriend, at decorating.genius. That's at decorating.genius. We'd love to see you there. And if you missed any part of this or any of our videos, you can find us at YouTube, on YouTube at which is the Interior Design Advocate. There it is. Next week, we're talking about why designers love and hate pillows and accessories. Why professional designers love and hate pillows and accessories. Last word to you, I told you in my little write-up here, if becoming a designer or up-leveling where you are as a designer, as a businesswoman is something that's on your brain at all, you want to informally get onto our little informal mailing list, get in touch with Steve so you can stay abreast of any developments here as we consider what we're going to be doing on that arena for you as well. All right, dears, lovelies, all my wonderful design divas. You put a joy in my heart and my life. I thank you for that. I love being here with you. Stay strong out there. Stay healthy. Stay intact. Be careful where you dwell in thought. Make sure you're putting great energy into that beautiful system of yours too, not just all the news of the day. All right. And I will see you next Tuesday, 4 p.m. Eastern, like we always are here for you. Okay, loves. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Hi, this is Donna. Thanks so much for watching. And if you like this video, please hit the like button and comment below so I know what you think. And don't forget to subscribe to the Interior Design Advocates channel so you don't miss any of our great content.